to Sports Chat, and this time around we are doing it right from the Principality of Monaco on the French Riviera, and we met with the Sports CS Ambassador Amina Mohammed, where we talk about a wide range of issues regarding sports in Kenya. I am your presenter, Robin Toskin from Monaco, and my first question to you, Ambassador Amina Mohammed, the Cabinet Secretary for Sport, is that you first started working for sports way back when you went to Canada to intervene on Kenya's behalf about the doping problem when WADA was just about to ban Kenya. How was it then?
Well, then I was, first thank you very, very much, but then I was CS Foreign Affairs, and I was just doing what I would normally do in a day's work to protect the image of the country, to promote our interests, right? And to just make sure that we're at the right place and nobody's banning us from anything. And so I went to do basically my job. And I'm glad that it turned out well, that eventually we're not banned. We're given conditions that we could actually fulfill very, very quickly, including obviously legislation, putting legislation in place. And as you remember, Parliament was actually recalled to complete that exercise, which they had started but had not finished. And so, yeah, so it turned out well. It turned out well, and I think that maybe because of that, and because of the way that it was handled and our quick reaction and response to it, we are where we are now in terms of this whole anti-doping issue and the questions that surround it all the time.
Madam Minister, now you are working in the sports ministry, and the same problem, the same old problem of doping is still there. How are you resolving this with WADA?
No, we're very, very active. We're very active in WADA. You may recall that just a few weeks ago we were in Poland for the same reasons, that we want to be seen as contributing to clean sport. And so we went there, and we obviously had our meetings. We gave the pledges that we've always given, that our commitment of the government of Kenya is for sports to be clean, and that we'll do everything and anything to ensure that that remains the case. And so just in terms of our athletes at home, we've been having trainings, we've been having awareness creation exercises. As you know, I have made many statements on the issue of doping. The last one being in Kisii during a sporting event, where I basically said that you can't wear the Kenyan colors, right, if you are not clean. And so the idea is to make our athletes know that they actually have the wherewithal to participate and to win, and that they don't need, right, to dope to do that. That has been proven again and again, from the days of Kipchoge Keino himself to all the way to Eliud and Bridget in the last few weeks, who have shown that our athletes are clean, and that they continue to aspire to remain clean athletes, and to ensure that they also mentor others to do the same. When we go home, we have a conference in Eldoret on athletics, and the idea even there is to invite WADA to come, talk to athletes, create the awareness that is required, but also to just emphasize that nobody is going to be allowed to participate in an event if they're not clean.
Well, the other thing is actually about the sports ministry. Are you enjoying it since you came into the ministry? How is it so far? How is your journey?
I don't know whether it prepared me, but again, you know, as civil servants, you know, you're ready to serve in any capacity. And I think the foundations of our training responds to work in different ministries. And so I'm happy to be serving in the Ministry of Sports. And the dimension that it has, the international dimension that it has, allows me to practice my diplomatic skills so that they don't get rusty. And so I'm really happy to be doing this.
Well, tell us about the meeting here in Monaco. We understand that you've been meeting with World Athletics officials, and one of the things you've done is that you've launched the website for the Under-20 Championship that is coming up next year.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have launched the website, and we have invited people to click on, right, see what we have to offer, see how prepared we are. but also to register, because I think it's important that people start registering for participation in the sports. We did that through our local organizing committee that has been having meetings, bringing their counterparts, right? Bring them up to speed on where they are. The information I have is that IWF, or World Athletics, is satisfied that we are actually where we should be at this time in our preparatory process. And you know that they have given us indications of what else they need for us to do. But they are actually satisfied that we've done what needs to be done up to now. Yeah? And so the pledges we've also made here is that we're on track. We will continue working very, very hard to make sure that the event is a showcase for everybody else, and that we host a very, very successful under-20 championship in Nairobi, as we did under the under-18.
Well, what about the local organizing committee? How is it working so far?
Well, I think they're working well. They're working well. I think they have what needs to be in place, and that's one of the reasons why they have had their meetings here as well, to just assure everybody that Kenya is actually on top of its game, and that Kenya will deliver a great event. Yeah? And so it's a good team, and it's been working very well and very hard. You know, the day that we stop having constructive criticism, right? And the day that Kenyans stop to keep pressing us, we'll know that we have failed. We will actually know that we have failed. But for as long as the criticism is constructive, so long as they tell us to keep working hard at things, it shows that there's movement, right? There's movement, they want things to be better, but they're satisfied that there's movement, right? And I think that democracy provides space for all of us to talk to each other. Hopefully not talk at each other, talk to each other and express our views openly. You know, everything belongs to all of us. The country belongs to all of us. All this infrastructure belongs to all of us. The sportsmen and women belong to all of us, right? And so we don't have ownership of them. They belong to all of us, and therefore we will hopefully be expecting good criticism, right? We'll be expecting felicitations at times, congratulations at times, commendations at times. But yes, at other times, as in any democracy, you'll have people saying things that may not be too palatable to you, but that keep you moving, and I think they can encourage you to do better. We are very keen to make sure that the environment that they practice in, that they train in, is a good environment, right? And so we're working very, very hard to make sure that we deliver on the promises that were made, for instance. We've also made sure that they're recognized, right? You know, both internationally but also nationally. Yeah? You know that they were recognized during Mashujaa Day, and the president himself actually awarded Eliud Kipchoge his medal. Many of them were recognized. 40, for the first time in our history, 40 athletes were actually recognized, right? In fact, let me say 40 sportsmen and women, you know, were recognized and given national honors. Yeah, we engage with them all the time. I think the federations have much more access than they've ever had at the ministry. They are both able to visit with the PS and, you know, explain to him what needs to be done, and sometimes just an exchange of views. But also the same with me, you know. They walk in, we have a discussion. If there are issues, we address them. If there are challenges, we deal with them. And so we've created that space that they needed, right? But also the recognition, and I don't think anybody should take that for granted. I think that recognition does a lot for them. It shows that their country has not forgotten them, that their country actually appreciates what they do, the commitment that they make, the focus that they have, the energy they bring into the sports they participate in. So I think that was a really good thing that happened. We've also been able to deal with our heroes and heroines, as you know. And so everywhere we go, we carry a few with us. At Mashujaa, we had 250 of them. Jama Fest, we had about 200 plus, yeah, in Dar es Salaam. So we're trying to do our best with the resources that we've been given, stretch it as much as possible, be as inclusive as possible, right, and as open, right, and accessible as we can.
Well, there are so many issues, including the fact that all the federations, you know, think that their financial challenges can be resolved by the sports ministry. What is your advice? Do you think that is the way to go, or that they have to find other means to finance their programs?
Well, I think that there are resources that we've continued to give to the federations, right? There are obviously systems in place on how you can access those resources, and I think it would be useful for everybody to actually adhere to the systems that we have in place. We also have been encouraging them to look for partnerships. I think that has been a message that has come from the ministry. It's been a very clear message that they should look for partnerships, that they should look for sponsors outside government. That if they do that, then the resources from government, right, with the resources that they get from their sponsorships will be actually adequate to support any activities that they want to get involved in, to support any event that they want